Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving weekend, so I hope everyone is doing well and has some delicious plans for the weekend. So we're going to go ahead and hop into. We've got a handful of images to go through. Our regular cast and crew on live, and we are going to take a look at a few things. So same deal as always. We'll start off with those that are present, and we'll go through alphabetical order that way. I had an opportunity. I was hoping to get everything kind of game planned out before I started today. And I got some good notes on most of them, but I didn't quite get all of them because my son came home and announced that he had to go to the bathroom. So that took me away from my computer at the last minute. So Austin, how are you doing? I didn't get a chance to prep too much on yours. But I was looking at this and I really, really like the haze that you've got working in here. I think it's really working well. I think that this shot in particular is definitely that feeling of what like a hero character popping off in the background, using that fog to kind of getting her contrast to stand out. It's working really well. The one thing that I would say is that I think we can isolate the fog towards the ceiling. I think it's probably best to do it towards the ceiling a little bit more, just to get a little bit fall off as we go down, and just kind of so it doesn't quite go top to bottom. Like there's a little bit of fall off there.
Oh. Would I do that? The settings for the fog itself?
You can. If it was me, I would probably, if you can. I'm trying to think in the AOVs that are being written out. If there's a world position pass or something like that, what you could do is you could pull the Y value of that fog and just say like the bottom a little bit, just make it darker. If it was a still, I would just say just roto and make it darker. But since we're moving around all over the place in the shot, you might have to just grab the bottom Y chunk, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
So basically, like the same way that we pull depth of field as a Z depth pass, you can also pull Y depth data. So you can tell Nuke by feeding it the 3D data. Anything between points 0 and let's say 5 units off the ground, let's make a mask for that, and then we'll darken that just in the volumetric. But it would be better if you could do it in the renderer, if you're able to go into those settings and like just isolate it to just the top a little bit. So either way, both will work. But I think it's really just your personal preference.
Okay. All right. I'll try it out. I might end up sending some questions to the channel.
Yeah. I think the team would be good at that. And I will hopefully be able to check in on some questions this weekend too, although my wife is working. So I'll do my best to hop on too if nobody else is on there. But I like the structure of this is looking really good. I think that this robot, as we get just like looking at the stills, I think we can step back the darkness on the robots. I love how the darks are here in the foreground, but in this midground we can have those dark beats a little bit lifted, just to kind of visually step them back into space. And then I think, and we'll have to see this play out, but I think I had two thoughts. One, the bump on this, I would take down the bump on this if there is one, or displacement. It looks like bump on her outfit itself. It just feels like it's going to chatter like crazy, and I would keep it to just being in the specular pass or the roughness pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just keeping it nice and kind of smooth will be good, because yeah, it's just like when you get like a really fine bump in there, it just wants to get all jittery and noisy and crazy. Yeah, so the thing that I like about this end shot is like you really feel the light on her in the middle, but in the like this shot here, I don't feel that same like strong top down light. She may just be in the middle of them, but I think in especially in this very center of the shot, right where the slow motion kick is happening, I think we need to feel a stronger top down light on them. But other than that, like this is shaping up really well. Do you all have any thoughts on this? And then maybe pull back the saturation on the red light just a touch. It's a little too like candy red, just like a little bit. I think it's looking great otherwise. Like this frame looks really good.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
The blue on the wall, screen right.
Yes.
Do you think maybe that's too bright?
I'm okay with it, but I will say now
Okay.
that I'm looking over there, that shadow is too tight.
Okay.
We should soften up that shadow a little bit.
It's just a lot brighter than her, so it's like I'm looking, but then my eyes are going to that wall.
Oh, really? I think she's brighter than that wall. Like if I kind of squint my eyes at,
Okay.
it's because, yeah, because this is all low contrast over here. Like I'm reading the contrast more than just the brightness.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that works.
Well, I know it looks different when she's moving anyway, so.
Yeah. No, but that's a good call. It's a very good call.
I can make the walls a little bit darker.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but like I think I just don't want to lose. Yeah, I think there's probably room to lessen that and not lose the shaping on it. I just think the shaping's really good. Good call, Kat.
Thanks.
Ah. All right. Speaking of Kat, let's hop over into hers next. So we've got okay.
I added a few things.
Oh, you did?
From yesterday.
Oh, yeah. There's some tables and chairs. I saw all the conversation about the scaling, and I think those are totally right. Thank you all for sharing that.
Yep.
I think that's really good. For the chairs themselves, I think they could probably, like, especially the table, I think you could probably just use some beveling. It's like watch out for the very hard edges. Again, these are, just judging from the reference. These.
Yeah, I was too tired to model curvy chairs, so I just modeled really basic ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine, especially, if you're just doing like as a placeholder or something, as a proof of concept, I think that's great. Just if it's going to be the final iteration, we'll need to do a little more. So, okay, so I had some thoughts on this one. The first of which is that, like, when I looked at this, my first thought was that the levels, like we're looking at this and we're missing some of the highs. So I went ahead and pushed up the brightness a little bit overall. And then I really kind of wanted to center in some more kind of brightness on the character himself to make it feel a little warmer, sunnier. And then that compared to the original, I think
right
is very good. I think I would nudge this building back a little bit too.
Okay.
Just because we don't want to see that like thin gap between the buildings.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In terms of finding some inspiration for the rest of it, I was kind of looking through the reference. And there were some things that really stood out to me. So, like, I was looking at the way that the grout in between the bricks here is getting darkened, and I think that once you kind of get into the ground, that'll be a good thing. There are things like I love the shape of this shadow, the way you can kind of see like a light, and the angle down. You've got the shadow from the plants. Like when the time comes to put in the like a shadow, perhaps back here on this back building, would be really cool to kind of get. That feeling of like some off-screen stuff, because again, this is a dense city, so if there's like a shadow coming down here of something and of like a surrounding building or some plants or something overhead, like you could even throw in some balconies off camera up here or something, just to cast some shadows.
Yeah, I do actually have. I originally had balconies and stuff modeled, but with the various iterations, I need to go back and do some more work on that.
Yeah,
because I was thinking window boxes and stuff, so I might add that to the building to the side, not necessarily the front building.
Yeah, but think but think about them too is not only what you see on camera, but what you're feeling coming in from office too. And then the last thing was just looking at this key to fill ratio. If you wanted, like, this is exposed more for the shadows than the highlights, so that. Highlights are going to be pushed a little bit brighter. It's so we can see more of the shadow, but just paying attention to that when you're looking through your references. Okay. And then for this one,
I kind of moved the lights around a little bit to get a bit more an idea, but I need to brighten them back up, I think, too. So
yeah.
I have buildings that I made for shadow, so I'm just kind of moving stuff around and seeing what falls.
Yeah. And then in this one, a couple things that I thought were kind of cool that you could put in was like, I really like this ripped up signage over here, like this kind of things posted and then ripped down and then something else posted and a bunch of staples all over. You see that all over urban spaces. And the other thing that I really like about old buildings in modern times is all of this additional electrical work and plumbing work that they kind of, like, you can see. I love it. It's like when you see like kind of all of these pipes and all these random things just like tacked to the outside of the building because they needed to run electrical and just like drilling holes through the middle of it and stuff. It's kind of, because you're placing this in a time, because there's a motorcycle, it's like maybe adding some of those drainage pipes and modern touches in there as well. And then for this one, let's see. I really like the color variance on the door. Like if you,
Okay.
It's where people interact with it. The color of the wood is lighter.
Okay.
Just especially for an outside thing. I thought these window reflections up here were really a good reference too. I know that there's these window. I think are these glass up here, or is that just see through?
Yeah, they're glass.
Okay.
I cracked. They are glass. I don't know. I moved something on the far left when it disappeared. There was really cool shadows or reflections in that one. But yeah, so they are going to be reflective. So I was messing with that to make them a bit more reflective too. So I just need to get more off-screen stuff that they can reflect on also.
That's great.
So.
Cool. And then. What else? Oh, the just more.
Do you think?
Stuff.
So I made round pots, but most of this is square, like planar beds. So should I guess I should probably make it more look like this because my pots are just kind of round. I just kind of made them really quick to stick them in there, but I think I might have to make them more square.
I think it's okay either way. I think it's whatever your personal preference is. Yeah, I think. I mean, if you want to mix them up a little bit, but I think either way. And then the last two things I had was the chairs had some nice specularity on them. It looks like your chairs are more wooden. Oh, and then the last thing I saw was that in some of this reference, like the handles of the door are usually more of a metal. So it'd be kind of cool to put like the gold texture on the handles on the door a little bit. Right now they look a little wooden. But maybe
they're actually metallic, but it might just be the way they're reflecting.
Yeah.
So I'll tweak with it.
Yeah, cool.
I don't have like an official texture on them right now. Most of the chairs and stuff, it's just like color and and mess with specularity a little bit.
But it's just to keep digging away at it. I think that's good. And then
yep.
Yeah, because I know we were focusing on the environment. I think that's good. All right. Okay, let's hop over into this guy. So this is looking really cool. I think for this one, it was kind of this. Same, because I think the glows are looking really nice. They're much more localized. I just think that in this central area around the character, we can play up a good bit more moonlight.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to kind of.
All right, I added an extra spotlight, so I'll just turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, and that way we can really kind of read in on the character there. Let me go and let's try that with this one, and then I think that'll, and then like it'll be a little bit of glow from the inner on it, and then just make sure you put some subsurface on the plant and on the character himself so you can kind of really feel that. Do y'all have any thoughts on these two?
I did switch some of the point lights on the flowers to spotlights, so they're more directional. So you can get there's more shaping on the pot, and there's more shaping coming up to him and stuff. Yeah. So
I still think there's a little more opportunity to get this guy glowing up here.
Okay.
But yeah, the rest are starting to feel a lot better, and it helped a lot to eliminate that one back behind.
I wonder how it would look if because the flowers are glowing quite a bit. If you just had some little like glowy streaks in the vines, that would be a bit more shading work. But if there is some interaction with that, because it's sort of a magical plant, and right now there isn't a whole lot going on with the interior lighting.
Okay. I can mess with the shaders on the plants.
All right, cool.
I'm also wondering if, the outside looks like pure black right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe turn it up value-wise.
Yeah, there's like a little moon, but you're right. Yeah, it's looking pretty black out there. I think with this nice blue light coming in as we crank that up, it would be nice to get a little bit more of a blue moon, blue evening sky out there.
Okay.
Cool. All right, great. All right. Next up, we have Molly. So Molly, there's a second submission that came in, right? Yeah, let's go do that. Okay, cool. So the way that I was looking at this earlier, and we can take a look at this as well.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on, but yeah. So it's the same scene. It's just I switched the warm lighting to the background.
Okay.
And then the cool lighting for the lamp. I thought it gave it sort of like an uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's.
I thought it was. Yeah.
That's actually an interesting study on how we would want to play up the mood of this a little bit. Like, do we want her to be in her home, comfort, or is this like a stressful test situation? And I think Yeah, I think that's a good sense of which emotion you want to play with. The cooler one probably I think works, or the warmer background with the cooler light might work better. But the notes that I had in mind, I think would actually apply to both. So overall, I think that we need to really pump up the brightness of the spotlight, because similarly, like when we look at it, all of our values are stacked in the bottom half of the spectrum. And I think that it just really helps if we get some more brights in there, and that'll just really help us kind of focus in on this and on the book and like her action with it and pointing at it and the whole thing. The other thing that happens, kind of a secondary effect that'll happen is anytime you have a character with a book kind of close to their face, you want to play up that connection between the character and the object, or really any kind of bright object like that. And so there'll be a little bit more bounce light onto the character's face. And so you can kind of make that connection there. And then some other, I'm just going to bring up my little notes I typed up here. So I think that, is there any way to maybe get some more props in the scene? Just because the desk feels a little bit empty.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then,
I'll add that.
and it doesn't have to be complex, because I think we would like to add some depth of field to this. So it can be just kind of some stuff out of focus back there, because we're kind of intimately with her. And there's not much of the story going on in the background, so we can let that go out of focus. Bonus points if you want to add some sort of writing in the book, but not absolutely necessary. The shadow,
Okay, sure.
yeah. And this is a smaller light source, so I think the shadows being kind of tighter are good. I just think they're a little bit too tight right now. It feels, I think we just soften those shadows a little bit. And then for the lamp, I said, I'm just gonna take these up. So it was like everything else in the environment is kind of white except for the lamp itself. So I would say either kind of go one way or the other. Either make like all of the environment like a neutral color to kind of play up, like to really kind of focus in on the lighting, or add some shaders to the rest of the environment a little bit more.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, just one way or the other.
Yeah, right now they're all the same color.
Mhm.
All the shaders are the same color.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then the last thing I thought too was just to get once we have this in here, it would be nice if we like hinted at maybe an exterior window or something that just gets a little bit of rim light on the character's screen left side, just to kind of
Okay, sure.
separate her silhouette from the background.
Okay. Sure. I'll add that in.
Yeah, it's great, but it's a great start, and I love that little color, bit of color play that you had there. Were there any other thoughts on this one?
No, not really. I just kind of hit a wall on it. I
No,
didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah, no, that's what these critiques are here for. Like, it's honest to
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I'm working on something, or I'll work on something in the next few days, and I'll send it to you guys before I do anything else with it, because I've been staring at it too long, so I'll need some feedback.
Funny how that is,
Alright.
when you've been staring at something for hours and hours and hours,
Yeah.
how just a new set of fresh
Yeah.
eyes can make a huge difference.
Like, it could even be like your own fresh eyes after a good night's sleep. It's like, because
Yeah.
I did this last night where I went to bed like feeling really good about the thing that I was doing, and then I woke up in the morning, turned on my monitor, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, what was I thinking? So
It's also a different state of mind. Like
yeah,
the night before, I don't know what state of mind you might have been in. Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, Stephanie, we'll come back to this one in just a minute. Same thing with Theo. And all right, Cora. So this is looking really beautiful. Like, I know the render isn't done, but you're matching a really difficult secondary, like the secondary light in here, like the bounce light and everything. You're matching that feel really well. And you're getting some really subtle things in there, like the subtle bits of blues on the ceiling. The biggest thing that stands out to me is the saturation on these. Wait, I lost my mouse. This stuff back here, just like that green on that, I would just pull back the saturation on that, because it's like it stands out a little bit too much. And then also maybe the rubber ducky's cute. Maybe pull back the saturation a touch on the duck as well. But I think, like the throw of light from these sconces onto the wall looks great. The value of the light outside the window looks great. The bounce light looks great. Maybe just because of comparison's sake, there's a little bit more sunlight feel on these foreground elements, Maybe try and just get a little bit more sunlight coming in here. But I don't. What do you guys think? Silence is a good thing in these critiques. It's a stunned happy silence. No, this is. I think this is looking really great.
Okay, because I was.
Great.
Oh no, go ahead. That was looking great. Always as happy. Response is great.
I was planning to still add more ambient occlusion, but maybe that's not necessary then.
I don't think so. I think. I mean, try it. Maybe like for some of these benches and stuff along here, but in the majority of the room, if you do it, keep this, like if you multiply it in, keep it like a 10-15% multiplication value, because otherwise it'll just kind of like ground it in a lot of heaviness. That we because the whole feel of this is like very light and very airy. But yeah, this is looking really cool.
Right.
Cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I had something to add.
Yeah.
I noticed that the reflection on the water too was a lot crisper, a lot more reflective in the reference.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
Yeah, that's a good call. Maybe just try, because again, it might. Yeah, maybe just try making that a little crisper. That's a good call, Molly.
Also, the ceiling too, like, is a bit darker, cooler, reflecting the pool onto the ceiling.
Yeah, maybe just a little more of that coolness in there, in a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
Agreed. I was messing around with the blue, and I think it's too subtle now.
I think, it's one of those things too, like but it's there. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I was looking at it because I was like, I almost like yours better. I almost like it that it's a little bit lifted up, but that's all right. Great stuff. All right, cool. All right, next up that was Molly's there. All right, Keldon, let's take a look here. Oh, I like the flickering of the light. I think it's too much. I would limit it down, but I like the concept of it. Let's see.
It was a bit too subtle, so
yeah,
I'll bring that back down a little bit.
It's not the value difference; it's the frequency of it. It's like at the end, it happens too much. Like here, it's good, and then we've got.
Yeah, there's no flickering until he hits the table and kind of sets the bulb loose.
Yeah, it's once we get to here, once we get to about the 11-second mark, let's go ahead and stabilize it again.
Okay.
It's just through the chaotic scene, and then we're like, because he kind of like bang, and then he like delivers his final line. It's more about matching that light losing control when he loses control, and then when he regains control, then the light regains control. If that might be too psychological, but yeah.
The next time I do a render, I'll fix those nails. I'll make them a little bit less saturated.
Oh, yeah.
This is just a comp change.
Looking at his fill level, especially when he goes up in there, I think we might need a little more fill up, because he kind of he tilts his head back at this point, and we kind of lose him in there. So I think
Maybe I should just bring the overall fill just back up.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I've got a little bit more light just on his left cheekbone there, right at the end. But you could see if you think you could use a bit more.
A little bit more, like a little more of the general fill value on that right side still.
Okay.
But everything else is looking great. Do y'all have any thoughts? Yeah, we're just getting down to that. Okay.
I really like it. I'm just wondering about the dots of light in the window. At first, you see 2 or 3, and then.
Yeah, those are street lights.
Okay, because I thought it was a moon.
I thought it was a moon too, and then I think maybe just limit. I think maybe just limit those just down to 1. Then the way it can either be the street light or a moon.
And since that it's in movement, like in a different timing from the camera, I'm not sure if the lights are moving too.
The camera's moving.
The camera's moving, but I don't think the back, because like
the lights behind these 2 lights look like they are seems they are moving.
I'm trying to think how that would work, because they would kind of move.
It might be. I might need to sort of animate it to
Yeah.
so that it moves less.
Yeah. I think having it move less would be good.
That'll be kind of tricky to line up with the animation that I made so that it shakes with the room.
Honestly, if you, because I don't think that seeing. Honestly, if you just leave it as like if you take these two off and just leave it as this last one kind of creeping in, I don't think you notice it as much.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but I just try that first. That might be the easiest solution.
Keldon, the two lights that Michael mentioned, it are lights behind there, or are the reflections from another lights that behind the camera?
Which lights are those?
The two dots behind the guy, it is the reflection from some light, or it is actually two lights that's behind the window? Because like usually when it's parallax, usually things that are far away, it gets slower than things that are close to the camera. And the impression that I had, that two lights or two spots, it's moving faster than the camera. Maybe that's the weird thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, those three dots. I get what you're saying there. Where it being further away, it wouldn't move as much. Yeah, that makes sense. Those three dots are all just on like part of an image that I just boosted the value of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll cover those two up.
That's great.
That'll probably fix that.
All right, cool. Great. All right, cool. Let's hop back into.
I just thought I'd mention.
Oh yeah.
I just uploaded a earlier version, but still newer.
Okay.
To the Discord, if that's not.
Of this one?
No, of the robot toys.
Okay. I actually have to go here in a few minutes, but I'll circle back. And anything I don't hit, if there's anything that's been uploaded since we started, I can go back and just do some write-ups on it later on. So I officially start full-time at Adobe on Monday, and I have to and I have to scramble because I need to go somewhere to show somebody my passport before Monday when I start. So I have an appointment at 2 that I have to, like in 30 minutes I have to go do. So
yeah, whatever works.
All right, cool.
Nice. That means that maybe the meetings will change time too.
What's that?
The meetings, like these light critiques time, will you change the timing for that?
Oh,
or you keep it
in the future? No, it'll still be. I usually do these during like what I schedule as my lunch break. So it's yeah. I have lunch with you guys every day. You don't know it. This is my lunch time. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's hop through. We've got let's see, Stephanie and Theo. Okay. So with this one, I think this looks good. I would like to see a final render or like a full render of this one over the weekend. And then the one thing that I would like to do in the comp is I think there's an opportunity for a lens flare when that light passes past the camera behind him. Like, I think that would be kind of cool. It would make it feel a little more cinematic. I know lens flares have a thing, and not everybody likes them, but I think that would be cool. Are there any, and then any other tweaks I think we could probably make in the comp? But I think this is looking really solid.
I think it's come a long way since the first iteration.
Yeah, this is definitely
has a lot
it's like definitely like a dramatic scene. It's fun now. Yeah, this is great. You did a really, really great job with this, Stephanie. All right.
I like to because it's a low quality. We cannot see his facial. I like to see what's his facial right now.
Yeah.
Visually.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so I always try and use long holiday weekends to do a good bit of rendering. All right. Let's see. All right, cool. Okay, so Theo, I like this is cool. I like the background that you've included with it. The depth of field is a smart idea. Some thoughts that I had was that I think actually let me go back. I think I might have adjusted this before I even yeah. So I think I changed it. So this was originally a little bit darker. So same deal as the other ones. I just went into the levels and pushed the levels a little bit brighter overall. And then I think we could actually do a little bit more brightness and warmth on the character to get her to separate off from the background a little bit. That might be a little bit too much yellow. But then once I did this, I realized that the like we really kind of want to keep the focus up top on her. So what I did was I just kind of darkened the base of her a little bit, just like her bottom half to keep it on her hands, her writing the order, her face, and like that connection point. So you just want to kind of darken the bottom. And then I think overall it would be really great to get some like kind of diffusion-y glowiness in here as well. And then actually, let me see if let me just do this as a second version, and then I'll open. Oh yes, and then I'll open the original to kind of. Yeah, so this was the original. So like from here to here, kind of thing. All right, cool. All right, y'all. Let me get this. See if I can get the exposure back up here. There we go. Okay, guys, have a wonderful and fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. Any other thoughts before we break for the day? All right. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Even if you're in other countries and not celebrating it, go find some delicious food to eat for me. And it's your assignment for the weekend. Get those renders kicked off and ignore your computers for a couple days and go enjoy your time. And I will see you all again on Monday. Sound good?
Have a good turkey day, everybody.
Have a turkey day. All right. Be good, everybody. Talk soon.
Take care.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.